Morning. So, as you can see, there's a distinct lack of Bronco in my driveway right now. And that's because it's at the dealership getting a new transmission. So, let's talk about it. All right. Story time. So, some backstory first. My Bronco was built in August 2022, August 1st actually. It just had its first birthday. I took delivery in September. Everything was great at first. I loved the thing. Honestly, I still love the thing. It was great for the first 2 or 3 months. Manual transmission was awesome. And then it started getting cold. And once winter hit, I noticed I would get in my Bronco and start it up every morning, and there would be a faint grinding noise, which is obviously a little bit concerning. Now, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad grinding noise at all. And it cleared up once the transmission warmed up. So I was thinking, you know, maybe it's just a quirk of this transmission. Who knows? But the farther and farther into winter we got, the colder it got, and the colder it got, the worse the noise became. So yeah, I was concerned. And like most of you, if you have a concern about your vehicle, you probably look it up online, and that's exactly what I did. And that is when I encountered these posts on Bronco Nation and an equivalent post on Bronco 6G. So I talked to my buddy at Ford that works on the F-150. I don't know anyone at Ford that works on the Bronco or any of the SUVs. The only people I know work on the pickup trucks, F-Series pickup trucks. But I talked to my buddy and asked him, hey, can you look into this? Is there any way, like, do you have access to the TSB system in any way to see if this is a widespread issue? And he came back with a TSB number. So I read the TSB, and the TSB described the exact situation I had. It says, you know, below a certain temperature, when you first start up the vehicle, there is some grinding noise in first and second gear. And that's literally that's what I heard. So what is causing this grinding issue? Well, Ford says in their TSB that it's the 5th and 6th gear synchronizer ring. A synchronizer ring, for those who don't know much about manual transmissions, is just it's a metal ring, usually brass or some sort of softer metal alloy, and it sits inside the synchronizer. And as the name suggests, its purpose is to synchronize the input gearing with the output gearing, and that way, when you go to shift gears, it's smooth. If you didn't have it, you would have to double clutch and you would have to rev match whenever you shifted gears. So it's pretty important. I wish I had a picture or something to show you what it looks like, but if I can find an image, I'll splash it on screen. I'll also link to a few videos down in the description if you want to learn about them. Now, synchronizer rings are designed to be friction rings. They are they work through friction. So if they didn't contact any metal, it wouldn't be able to synchronize anything. So a scraping or grinding noise from the synchros is not necessarily a bad thing. But it does suggest either a lack of lubrication or perhaps some sort of machining tolerance issues when they created those rings, or the transmission, or both, or, you know, who knows. But it was enough of a concern where I looked into it, and here is the noise I heard. Hi, Editor Brian here. So what you just heard was the clip of audio where it was completely unedited. I didn't edit any of the audio in that clip. What I realized when I was editing this is that it's probably going to be hard to hear. So I'm going to play it again, but this time I'm going to EQ out all of the engine noise so you can actually hear the rattling a lot easier. I do recommend headphones. If you want to see the full clip, unedited, completely unedited, I will leave an unlisted video linked down in the description. And here in a second, you're going to see me shift up against 6th gear, kind of like the gate of 6th gear. And the reason why I'm doing that is because that will engage those synchronizer rings. So if the noise stops, that proves that the synchronizer rings for 5th and 6th gear, or in this case just 6th gear, is the issue. So I took it to my dealer. My dealer confirmed my diagnosis. They agreed it had to. I didn't tell them explicitly to look at that TSB, but when they did their own diagnosis, they did attribute it to the TSB. So cool. They ordered the parts, and then it just became a waiting game. What? Yeah, I'm standing on this. Is that okay?
Why?
Because I want to.
Why?
I just want to. Do you want to stand on it too? You know, you don't have shoes on. You should probably put shoes on. While I was waiting for my parts to come in, I did keep tabs on the Bronco 6G thread. There was a fair amount of other manual transmission owners that had taken it to their dealer. Their dealer also confirmed the diagnosis and had the parts ordered. So I just wanted to keep tabs to see when people started to get their parts, so I'd have some idea of when I would get my parts. Admittedly, selfishly, but it's true. And holy cow, that thread is a piece of work. It is over 200 pages at this point. There is most of it, a good 180 to 200 pages of it, is just complete bullshit. Just being honest. So I will link it down below, but be forewarned, there is so much information. There's so many people that have no idea what's going on. There's just people that are just screaming because they're pissed off that their transmission is making a noise. So, warning, go check it out if you want. There is a handful of people on that thread that did know what they were talking about, and they were doing their best to try to tamp down on all of the nonsense and get valid information out there. There's one user in particular, I'll stick his username somewhere on this screen, who really knows his stuff. He's a service technician for a Ford dealer. He obviously knew what he was talking about. He spent a lot of time in that thread when he didn't have to, so thank you for your service. I kind of gave up after page 100, but thank you for sticking with it. So yeah, all the information, the good information is there. There's just a lot of bad. So to kind of distill 200 plus pages of forum posts into a 5-minute video or whatever this ends up being, the fix is to drop the transmission out of the vehicle, tear it apart, replace the 5th and 6th gear synchronizer rings, slap it all back together, stick it back in the vehicle. Now, there was a part shortage for most of this. The synchronizer rings were hard to come by, so a lot of dealers, including my own dealer, actually just got approval to replace the entire transmission rather than just doing the 5th and 6th gear synchro rings. So great, except by late winter, it was pretty clear that just swapping out the parts or swapping out the transmission didn't fix the issue. It would be fine for 500 miles to 1,000 miles, and then the issue would return. That was understandably frustrating for a lot of people. For me, I was pretty glad my parts hadn't come in yet, because it was pretty obvious that Ford and Jetrag still had some work on their hands to figure this out. Now, fast forward to early spring, and new parts started appearing in the parts database, which is good. Now, we don't really know what Ford changed. It doesn't tell you. It just says, you know, here's the old part number, here's the part that superseded the old number. So it doesn't tell you what changed. It's not like it says, you know, oh, we changed this to fix this issue or whatever. No, it doesn't say any of that. It just gives you the 2 part numbers. Those new parts start arriving at dealerships around mid to late spring, and it seems, now granted we are well on our way to summer at this point, so warmer weather and all that, but it seems that has actually fixed the issue. Good stuff. Again, if you want to go through that 200-page thread, you could figure it all out and the exact timelines and all the part numbers. I will summarize all of it, stick it on the screen here so you don't have to do that. Hey, noise machine. Whatever. As for me personally, I get the phone call at the end of July. They schedule me for August, and that brings us back to yesterday. That was a lot of talking. Hopefully that was helpful, but that was a lot of talking. All right, let's go back to yesterday. Bye. To make myself feel better about losing my Bronco, let's go check out and see what they got. We'll see. Ooh, there they are. Ooh, and do I see a Heritage? Oh, cool, let's go look at that. This right here is an Everglades, which is pretty sweet. This actually belonged to one of the salespeople. And then he had a kid and got a different vehicle. At the time I'm filming this, it's 1 week before the order banks open back up, so we don't actually know if Everglades is coming back or not. But we'll have to see. Cool Bronco. Another Badlands. This is actually hot pepper red. This is a cool color. It doesn't really do it justice because it just rained, but I kind of wish I had ordered this color. I didn't like this color on Ranger at all, but it's pretty cool on Bronco. And the Heritage Limited. It looks like this was just delivered because it's dirty. They haven't washed it yet. This is pretty sweet. Cool vehicle. I would ask one of the sales guys to open it up for me, but it's like 7 o'clock in the morning and they don't get it until 9. They should have done chrome on the wheels. Come on, Ford. Do chrome. Nice vehicle. I don't actually know what they have planned for that. I don't know if they're gonna keep it or stick it in their showroom or what. I have no idea. Anyway, cool stuff. Like seeing what they got. This Everglades over here is for sale. I know that for sure. The rest of them, they all have retail stickers on them, so I'm guessing they're already spoken for, but check the website, RagnarKon.com. And then down here on the bottom looks like we got an F-150 Raptor and a Bronco Raptor. Cool vehicle, like a lot. I'll tell you what, Shadow Black does a really good job hiding those guys. And an F-150 Lightning, let's see how much this thing is. Well, it's green, so it's somebody's retail order. 89,000. That's, whew, man, stuff is getting up there. So they said it would take about a week, or at least they're budgeting themselves a week in case they run into snags or anything. So I guess we'll have to wait for the phone call. In the meantime, my chariot awaits. Ford Focus. Hi, it's the next day. Well, I guess for you guys it's 2 days. Well, whatever. It's some unspecified amount of time in the future. There's a few things I wanted to say that I missed saying yesterday when I was wandering around the yard chatting. The first is, we don't know if this issue causes any transmission failures. I have seen no evidence to suggest that it does. As far as we know, it's just a noise issue. It's a concerning noise, don't get me wrong, but it's just a noise issue. The second thing that I'm sure somebody's going to ask is, would you buy the Bronco again if you knew this was going to be an issue? The answer is yes. I would absolutely buy the Bronco again. It's an incredible vehicle. I like the transmission in the vehicle, other than this noise issue that, again, we don't even know if it's a problem. It's a great vehicle. I love it. Ford has a TSB for it. They're working on the issue. They know it's a problem. I just, like, don't let it prevent you from buying a manual transmission. Don't let it prevent you from buying a Bronco. If you want it, just get it. It's great. It really is. I'm sure another question somebody will ask is what build dates this issue impacts. I will say it doesn't seem to impact all Broncos, but I don't know if there's a defined time period of build dates that this impacts. Just based on spending time in that gigantic thread, it seems like it mostly impacts mid to late 2022 build dates, but I have seen some 2021s with this issue. I have seen a few 2023s with this issue. So I really don't know, but it doesn't impact everyone. So it's really hard to say. I'm sure there are people out there that have this issue that don't actually know that it's an issue because they live down south where it's warmer, or they just play the music loud enough to where they don't hear the grinding in the transmission. Like, I mean, who knows? And then the last question that I'm sure will get asked is, you know, hey, I have this issue. I've heard the grinding noise. I took it to the dealer. They said there's no problem. And yeah, that has happened. That's happened to quite a few people on the thread. It makes sense. My advice to you is to wait until it's cold outside, and also drop off your Bronco the night before. So again, the issue goes away. That noise, that grinding noise, goes away once the transmission warms up. So if you want to give the dealer the best chance of hearing it, make sure you drop it off the night prior, let it cold soak overnight, and then hopefully in the morning when the technician gets in it, they'll be able to hear it pretty clearly. Cool? Awesome. All right, back to waiting. All right, just got the phone call. It's done. Let's go get it. Keys. Oh, there it is. Oh, I just found it. There she is. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna go grab the keys. I actually bought the GoPro. That's what I'm shooting on right now. I'm gonna go see if one of the sales guys is available to open up that Heritage Limited for me. So I don't know, we'll see. I'll be back. I mean, it smells like new car in here. I mean, it's really good. I won't lie, it's really good. All right, keys have been got the keys. I did take more footage of the Heritage Limited, but to avoid turning this into a video about the Heritage Limited, what I'm gonna do is just stick all that footage onto a video and plop it in an unlisted video. It'll be in the description if you want to see it. But let's get out of here. Okay, let's do this. So far so good. Ooh, the clutch feels weird. There's a lot of dead space on the clutch. We'll have to drive it and see. Okay, so I just spent the past 20 minutes or so driving around the local neighborhood here and near the dealership, and the clutch is definitely different, which makes sense because they had to bleed the clutch line. But I don't think it's a bad different. I think the issue is that I'm just used to driving the Focus. The Focus and the Bronco have two very, very different clutch feels, and I think I just got used to the Focus, driving the Focus the past 2 days, and I have to relearn the Bronco's clutch, more or less. But other than that, other than the different feeling clutch, first impressions are really, really good. The most noticeable change is that shifting into second gear is a lot smoother now than it was in the past. There was always like this weird grinding feeling shifting into second gear. It never was like difficult to shift it into gear, but it just felt a little crunchy. But now it's a lot smoother. First, second is good, third's really good, fourth is really good. I haven't tried 5 and 6 yet because I haven't been on the interstate, but so far so good. All right, I'm back. No complaints at all. Let's take a look at what they did real quick. So I got the e-transmission. That's great. Oh, I just realized I'm gonna have to blur almost all this. That's gonna be annoying. Well, anyway, I got the e-transmission. I wonder if I can actually see it. Let's see if I can spot it. Okay. Oh, dropping stuff. Oh, hitting stuff. Well, I can't really see it, but it's definitely brand new. Where's my phone? Oh, here it is. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, it's definitely a different part number. 7003AB. Interesting. I'll have to look that up in the part system. Yeah, on here they definitely said I got the E variant, but on the transmission itself it says AB. So I wonder if one is a service part number and the other is an engineering part number. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. What else? Replace transmission, blood clutch, check alignment. Ooh, did I get a free alignment? Adjusted front toe on both sides. Wow, I got a free alignment out of that. I wonder if that's part of the transmission replacement or if they just threw that in there. Cool. What else we got? Seatbelt latch, that's just the recall that they don't have parts for. Multi-point test battery. Yep, all the other normal stuff. Cool. Okay, so that's it. Oh, stupid hardtop. So, yeah, that's it. What the heck? That's it for now. I guess we won't really know if this fixes the issue until winter when it starts to cool down. Hopefully it does. I would love if this saga, this chapter of Bronco's issues is over with. I'd rather not deal with a transmission problem. So, yeah, if you would like me to do a follow-up video, let me know. The problem with follow-up videos on this type of stuff is that if nothing's wrong and it stays fine, then it makes a really, really bad video. But, you know, if you want me to do one, let me know. Thanks again to Monaco Ford, my dealership, Glastonbury, Connecticut. If you are in southern New England, I highly recommend you check them out. I won't lie to you and say that they sell everything at MSRP. They don't. But on most retail order vehicles, they will sell it to you at MSRP. So check it out. They repaired this in about a day and a half when they said it was going to take a week. So awesome stuff. But that's it for now. It's going to rain, so I'm out of here. As usual, socials here, RagnarKon, Bronco Nation, Bronco 6G, and the Ford Bronco subreddit. Feel free to message me if you have any questions, comments, whatever. And order banks. Again, order banks are opening. At the time of filming this, they will be open 1 week from today. So I'm not going to say that date in case Ford changes the date, as they usually do. But keep an eye out, talk to your dealers. Yeah. Catch you all later. Bye. I don't know how many of you have kids, but it's always an adventure to see what they found. Today's find, a piece of gutter. I don't know where they found that. I have no idea.